Today we are back at Lowdhams reviewing these fantastic Malibu diversity vans. So these Malibu vans are actually a brand by Carthago. Now if you've heard of Carthago, they're the ones who make those enormous A-class liner things that are beautiful. But this is their van range. So these two that we're going to have a look at today, both based on the Fiat Ducato, both 6-metre vans, both basically exactly the same van but with various different specs as to windows, oven or not, storage, various different bits and pieces. So we'll show you around the two that they've got here today. We'll talk you through what kind of prices and things they are. I think they're both 150 manuals, but there is the option to have them as 140 manuals, but there is the option to go up to a 170 and an auto.
180
as well. 180. I'm just getting this thoroughly wrong, aren't I? I think I'm pre-programmed into
You've been
something
looking
else.
at the Fords.
Been looking at the Fords, that's it. Yeah. So 140 manuals, but the option to go to 180 as an auto as well. So lovely looking vans actually. Really impressed by the quality of the interiors on these. So shall we go and show you around? Okay, so this one, wait for it, this is a long sentence here. This is a Malibu 600D BK Diversity GT Skyview. Quite a mouthful.
You had to read that, didn't
I did have to read it. There was no way the memory was going to work for that, especially after I'd just made a thorough cock-up of the engine sizes. So
£78,000 before we get inside.
Yeah, 78 grand, although they have got a small offer on this one at the moment. This sleeps 2, but seat belts for 4. I think it's probably important to say on both of these vans as well, actually, there is the option for a pop-top roof, so you can sleep 4 and have 4 in seat belts as well, which is a nice option. Obviously you're going to lose some roof lights and bits and pieces if you go putting a pop top on it, so just bear that in mind if you're thinking about the lightness that you can see when we're actually having a look around these vans.
Just before we go in it, is anyone else thinking MasterChef?
It could be a bit. It needs it to be in a circle, doesn't
It does need a circle. If we had one of these, I'd have to make that into a MasterChef logo, I think. Sorry, carry on.
One thing I do like on these, they've got actually a really, really wide step here, so there is absolutely no way that you're going to be falling over or tripping over and getting in and out of this van. Matches the size of the entranceway into the van, which is quite nice. You've got a good load of switches down here and a plug, and that's all various light switches and bits and pieces there. You've got a standard 2 gas burner hob Dometic top there, sink which is underneath some nice fairly chunky boards,
chopping board as well,
doubles up as it looks like. You've got a Thetford fairly tall fridge here. You can see the top of the fridge comes up to me about there. That's going to have your freezer box bits and pieces.
I think it's 84 litres.
Yeah, it's a big old fridge.
It's a really sizable fridge.
Yeah, so good sizable fridge. And you've also got a cupboard down here which doubles up as your wardrobe, so there's a hanging rail in there, and that's a wardrobe that goes straight through in terms of the floor as well. Lots of cupboard space, and these catches, they feel really quite nice.
They're
nice
decent,
and positive. They're decent quality, doesn't feel like they're going to fall apart at all, and actually quite a good amount of worktop space here. If you're trying to cook and bits and pieces.
So when I was reading about this particular model, the Diversity, there's 4 different vans that they do based on the Ducato, and the Diversity specifically said it's got a bigger kitchen than some of the other ones. So when you think about the amount of worktop, it's also got this funky flap thing on the end. So if I pull that up, you've also got that too. So it's quite the size, especially when you consider you can use the top of the fridge over there. And
some of the text or the graphics that they've got on the other van, which we'll show you around here, it says it's an all-rounder with XL kitchen comfort and noticeable feeling of spaciousness. I don't know, I think I agree actually.
Compared to ours,
because you can tell the Ducato is a kind of wider, straighter van. You don't have that kind of tumble home that you get on the Svens or the MAN kind of Volkswagen Crafter layouts here. It's a lot straighter, and you do benefit from that. So in this one you get lots of storage drawers. You'll see on the other one, I mean they're enormous, but you'll see on the other one there's an option for a kind of grill oven thing that's been put in on them. But look at that space. It's huge.
Big. And they're shaped as well. So
Yeah.
that's not actually parallel. It's they've tried
gives
to
you that little
bring
bit
it out
more
a little
space
bit
as
more.
you're coming through the van here, doesn't it? You've got your fairly standard layout here, as I'm sure you saw when Will walked into the van. So your normal kind of
Front
two-bench
dinette
seat,
style,
front
isn't it?
dinette, front dinette.
That's got a spin-out section as well.
Spin your cockpit chairs round, and then you've got that. Some quite nice soft furnishing touches
Sure about the
that are
netting.
going on there. I'm not sure about the netting, but for some people, that's a bit more feels like home, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's got a really big drawer as well, hasn't it? Just under the bench seat
yes.
there, which is absolutely enormous.
Another,
so
again, shaped.
When you're thinking
and
shoes,
this.
Crocs, or anything
And
like
they've
that.
given you a little bin actually built in, which is quite nice.
So there's one of the seat belts there, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Pop that shut. And then you've got a bit of a raised floor here as well, with another removable section. So in terms of getting shoes and other bits and bobs out of the way, plenty of space in here to do that.
So one thing that you'll see is different as when we show you the next one as well. This one's got this front skylight. So your storage over the front here is minimal, but you do get this lovely feeling of spaciousness and light coming in through the van, combined with a normal, in inverted commas, standard Dometic skylight up here as well as you go through the van. Lots of overhead storage, as you saw all of that down there. Bit of shelving around here.
Good lighting.
And as we come back, you'll see there's a pretty spacious bathroom around here. And they've given you a little footstool to actually be able to get into bed as well. One slight comment on that. Can't figure out whether you can get that open or move it around or anything, and I can't see any hinges or anything on it.
Given it a good wrestle, and I think it might just be an empty box.
Yeah. So I'll talk about this bathroom that's behind me in just a minute, but first I'm going to get out of the way so that Will can actually get some footage of this bed. So it's looking like quite a good sizable bed actually. We'll try and find out the actual dimensions of it for you and we'll pop those on the screen. Got a decent sized mattress here, and actually what's quite rare these days, it's got wooden springs. But I'm hoping that a mattress of that kind of thickness, you won't be able to feel the wooden springs underneath it. You'll just benefit from having that little bit more sprung bed, essentially. These lift out of the way as a butterfly style, and we'll get some additional footage there to show you. And as well as that wardrobe that's just on the side down here, there's a further one that's tucked under the bed as well. I think you can get to that from the back of the van as well, but as well from under the bed too. You can see up here, got some really good overhead storage as well for all of your clothes and bits and pieces. A huge locker there, and then you've got one obviously at the back and another one around the corner too there, and some shelving, so that's quite nice to just potentially put your phone on or a book or whatever when you go to bed in the evenings too. Some nice little light switches down here. Bits, I don't think obviously that bit's particularly on at the moment. There we go. Ah, there we are. So you can see it's got a sliding door that comes across here, and I'll sort that out in a second. You've got this toilet that's tucked away actually under the bed. So this is in its kind of shower setup at the moment, almost, in terms of getting the toilet out of the way. You'll see you've got this little plastic bit here that folds down, stops the toilet getting absolutely soaked. You've also got a door here, and you can see down here's the flush for your toilet, and also where you would put your toilet paper as well. So if you're planning on having a shower, pull that sliding door across, and that's done there.
That's clever.
And then you've got this entire space here for having your shower. So yeah, that's quite a big space, isn't it? If I stand in there, obviously you're going to have your door closed along this track down at the bottom here.
Two plug holes, which is good. I like the fact that it's got those little tracks kind of embedded in it, just here.
Just to catch the water.
Because the water will flow off there into the tracks, which means that it should dry out a little bit quicker than just a normal tray.
Yeah, and then obviously your sliding door over the front as well, just to finish it off.
Another one here, haven't you?
Yeah, so this is your shower door. Pulls around. It's a little stiff because it has to go around a few corners. And that's it, done.
This is a great video.
So it's a pretty huge shower for such a small van, really. As I push that up, because it does take a little bit of effort. So you've got a skylight up here, which is one of the grab it and push the handle up, with a little blind in there as well. I don't know quite why you would need to actually close a blind, unless you're planning on sleeping in the toilet. That's your more important one. There is your fly net.
No outside window in this one.
Yeah, so no outside window here, but you will see in the next one that there is. And you've just got a shelf up here for storing your shampoos and shower gels and bits and pieces.
So go on then, do the funky toilet
and bits and pieces. The funky toilet, is that a new dance?
The funky toilet.
The funky toilet.
It would be if you have one of these. If you've got a Malibu with this,
okay.
Do let us know if you do the funky toilet.
So all you do, twist this round to the right a little, grab hold of the toilet and pull it out, and you'll hear it basically click into place.
Which there is a little kind
and
of
that's
foot
it.
lever thing.
So the foot lever, all that is for is to help you just to move it with your foot. So you still need to use this dial, and then you can just give it a kick out of the way basically to give you a bit more space.
That's clever, that.
It's nifty. The only slight downside, which you generally, if you've bought one of these as a sort of standard porta potty in your van, you can normally move the bowl or the bit at the top around, whereas here it is that fixed position. So that's your toilet, and if you're sitting on that toilet with that out of the way, there's not a lot of room for a leg there. And your leg is going to be in front of the toilet roll.
We should probably say that we've tried everything that we can to turn that round.
And I can't find a way.
Let us know in the comments below if you have one of these and we've got this wrong. Maybe that you can and we just don't know how. But I don't think that's the case. I think it is actually fixed.
Yeah. Another very slight downside, depends whether you care or not, is obviously that space there where your toilet swings into is then a wasted space in your van, in terms of the boot. But it's nifty to be able to get the toilet out of the way. It gives you a much bigger shower tray. Yeah, it's not the end of the world if they hadn't done it, because it's perfectly possible to stand in there anyway and have a shower, but obviously even better if you can move it out of the way. And this, your sliding door for inside of the van, like that. I think somebody has possibly treated it a little firmly and they're just not quite sticking together at the moment, but they slide together there. Yeah, so that's
funky little latch on.
And then that pulls back, gathers the other one, and across it goes.
Which is neater than having an actual door which opens, because in our van, when we open the door, it kind of blocks off access to the bed and everything.
Yeah, so it's kept this as quite a nice open space if somebody does want to get past whilst the door's open.
So a couple of stats on this then, and this is the same for both of these vans. 100 litres of fresh water, 92 of waste, I think.
It's a huge wastewater tank,
It is. And as standard, it comes with a Truma Combi 4 gas-fired heating.
Yeah.
You can upgrade that to a 6, so it's more powerful, and you can have electric option on it if you want.
Nice.
Diesel option.
Okay. All blown air heating, I presume.
All blown air heating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously your hot water for the shower and the sink and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So shall we show you around the other one now then, which, like we said, same base van, just a very different spec in terms of windows and all other bits, so we'll point those out. So we've moved over to the second Malibu van from the GT Skyview, so with the nice big window over the cab, to the non-GT Skyview, but with different options. So this is the Van Diversity 600 DBK, not GTX Skyview, so same model. Very similar pricing, a little bit less. It's more.
Doesn't have the nice window at the front.
But you'll see why it's more, because it's got some other different options on it, which for some people would be like, that's a no-brainer, having it. Others are like, no, do without that. So first up, this one has other windows. So it doesn't have this big sky window thing at the front. You get some storage instead. But we've got the trademark Malibu portholes. Now, if these were totally circular, I would go with definitely porthole. The slight horizontal line here at the top is giving me ideas of a different kind of shape. Comment below what you think that they might look like. But it's quite nifty. Okay, so let's open this one up. Does it have the MasterChef symbol lacking the circle? Let's have a look. Yes, it does. But what I've also noticed on this one, it's got this little rod down here that the other didn't have. So that's for putting your inside table on the outside. So first difference noticed.
I wonder if that's an extra.
Might be an extra, could be, couldn't it? Who knows? Right, so this is all looking quite similar, apart from, like I said, no big sky window, but look at the size of that storage that you get up there instead. So if you're in old rainy Blighty and you need lots of space to be storing lots of different coats for all of the different weather that the UK can chuck at you, you might feel that some storage up there would be better than being able to just see the constant grey skies. But each to their own, basically. So you still get your standard Dometic roof light up in the top there anyway, and again there is the option to have a pop top roof on this one as well, and again remember you lose your skylights if that is the case. So what else is different? This is all looking very similar. This is looking quite similar, but I have spotted down here, instead of the big drawer, there's a little Dometic oven down there, which is a standard kind of Dometic oven. Can't say I've ever thought that we needed use for an oven in our van, but for some people it's an absolute essential. So again, a choice that's there for you. Same fridge freezer, and then you just get, oh crikey, well,
Wasn't expecting that.
okay, just slightly different storage options. You get your big drawer, it's still down here. I'm assuming that it's still got the space for the bin. It does. Oh, and that's how the that looks better, doesn't it? Rather than just having it dangling over the side. So the bathroom is your next slight difference in here. So a nifty little window down there for a little bit more light.
It's got a little cover over it.
It's got a little cover over it. Let's just get that shower head out of the way there, so we can open that up so you can actually get to your window. Again, a nice little blind, although it is obscure glazed, so not entirely sure why we need another blind. And then that obviously covers it up if you're planning on having a shower and you don't want to get water all over it.
And with it still having a roof window, you could have a real throughput of air there, couldn't you, with the side window open as well as the roof window?
Yeah,
It's
so
really steamy in there.
well, either that, or if you just want to dry it out a little bit more quickly, because you're about to pack up for the day. Exactly the same toilet setup that you've got down here, exactly the same shower layout, same amount of storage, etc. Just literally a different panel that you've got there with that window on it. And then you'll see as we go further down the van, this is where your portholes actually are. So they look a little bit more portholey from the inside. So there we go.
They are quite cute.
Yeah. So that's your two opening windows there, and obviously you've got your opening windows on the back doors as well. It doesn't mean you lose any storage, because there wasn't any storage within the walls there. It just means you're going to get a good amount of throughput of air, particularly if you've gone for the pop top option. So where you lose that rear skylight over your bed. If you're in warmer climes, one window open isn't enough. You need to have two to get a little bit of circulation of air. So that'll really help along those kind of lines.
I think on the options you can choose whether you want one side or both sides of the porthole. So if you only want them on one side because your feet are always at the other end, or sometimes people they don't want the head end ones, they only want the feet ones. You can change the spec on these.
Okay.
And the spec list is huge.
I bet it is.
When I've had a look at it, it's absolutely enormous.
It would be nice on the spec list if there's an option to make the footstool into a storage box.
Just give this one a try. See if there's anything that happens. Definitely not. No, definitely not.
Definitely not. But that would be a fantastic size for sticking a couple of pairs of shoes in it. If anything, you don't need the extra storage. This van has got an enormous amount of storage, and I would challenge anybody to fill every single one of the cupboards and still remain under your 3.5 tons with your passengers as well. So you don't need it. It's just, I find those kind of things a little bit frustrating, where it's like, oh, that's a wasted opportunity that you could have done something with. So these Fiat Ducato vans that these Malibus are built on, you can order so many different things that you might want to customise it within the Fiat options list that comes as part of the main options list for you to decide whether you want porthole windows and all manner of bits and pieces on them. So anything from things like adaptive cruise control, automatic dipping headlights, all of those bits and pieces you can spec it pretty much to the nth degree. But obviously bear in mind lead times if you're going to want something a little bit different from the norm that they would be picking up for the vans to convert, then you might end up waiting a little bit longer. These particular ones, and I'm pretty sure this was a standard actually on the options list anyway, come with these Remus fitted blinds here. So you get the ones that pull across the cab windows, and then you've got the ones that are installed on the main windscreen as well. So a nice easy over you go. You will find in the winter with that kind of style of blind, if you're using your shower and things like that, you will get condensation on your windscreen. So you might want to consider having an external blind setup as well to just help with that insulation. But for summer, absolutely fantastic. Really, really easy. So around the back of the van, both of these are exactly the same on both of the vans that we've seen today. So you've got your standard, in inverted commas, rear windows that you can open, they're top opening. You've got your blinds on there. You've got this sort of block here, which I'm not entirely sure, I've never seen that before, but possibly just for a little bit more privacy when you've got the window open, something like that. Finished off quite nicely with this interior here. And then in your actual garage area, got a nice big cupboard there, which is your gas storage. So there's space there for 2 enormous bottles, should you feel the need. And they've got this nice big garage area just at the back here with these couple of shelves. These are removable, you can take them out. Quite nice that they've actually given you that ability to try and sort your stuff out rather than it just being a big cavernous space.
Well, I suspect that'll be for chairs and stuff. You could slide in outdoor chairs and an outdoor table underneath, and then still have a nice packing area for boxes or something.
Yeah, various bits and pieces like that. And that cupboard there, which is, it's quite dark for Will to show you, but hopefully you can pick it up. I'll try lifting this mattress out of the way here. Might bring some light in. That's the other wardrobe that I was talking about when we were inside the van. So it's a top loading wardrobe with obviously some press studs at the back there, so you can get into that wardrobe from the boot. Little awkward, so probably slightly longer term storage of things that you don't necessarily want to be getting at every day. And as you saw, bed lifts up here and the bed lifts up on that side as well, and there is a bit more of a hole down there for you to put various bits and pieces into. Got a clamp up at the top there for your awning wind out, which is quite a handy, nifty place to keep it. And then that's your awning on the side of the van right up at the top there, and that's a Dometic awning. You don't tend to see those particularly often, but good big sized awning for when the weather cheers up a little, because it's a bit rainy and blighty today unfortunately, but nice sunshade. We've just noticed as well on further inspection, so those shelves that we just showed you in the garage of the other one, they are an option, so do think about that. But the Truma heater is actually in the garage space. So that got us thinking, well, there must be more storage space than under the bench seat, because that is traditionally where it is. And hey presto, Will has found it. So all we have to do is lift this up, then lift this up, and you can see that's the drawer that you pull out, and then you've got another big gap under there for any other bits and pieces. So my moaning about them not using that little step as a footstool, you're definitely not going to have any problems finding places to store your shoes in this van. So hopefully that's given you a really good look around these 2 6-metre Malibu vans. I'm not going to try and recite the entire name again, but obviously lots of different options for you to choose from on them. Lovely quality vans based on that Fiat Ducato base van. So come and take a look and have a look at them. That range also covers vans down to 5.4 metres in length if you don't want a 6. The 6 metres that we showed you today, and then they go up to a 6.4 as well if you'd prefer to have a bed that goes longitudinal across the length or down the length of the van rather than across the van. So if you both want to be able to get up and go to the toilet in the middle of the night, the longer van might be the one for you. So hope you've enjoyed that, and we're going to switch now for a little bit of bonus content over to Will, who's going to show you around another little van.
So this little bit of bonus footage, we're going to keep this fairly short because we're conscious this video is going to be really long already. But this is the Swift Monza, based on the new Ford Transit. And I'm always really keen to look at new Ford Transit based campers at the moment, because it gives us a bit of a clue into the different interior, and it also might give us a bit of insight into what's coming from Volkswagen themselves, because obviously based on the same design. So let's have a quick look inside. I think these look amazing. So I think the styling is fantastic. Not just the Monza, but the whole new Transit thing altogether. I think they look brilliant. So let's have a quick look in here. Now, first impressions when I had a quick look around this van was, I love that blue lighting. So got integrated LED lighting in the floor, and that's really cool. Integrated lighting underneath all the cabinets and things. Really like this kind of almost checkerboard style layout inside with all these colours, so white and blacks. Looks really nice. On the seating you've got a mix of Alcantara and leather as well, but diamond stitching and things. Nice bit of detailing in the headrests and things there as well. Really, it actually just gives it a real quality feel. And when you think about the design of this, nothing revolutionary in here in terms of, you know, the layout of having a sink, a hob and all of that sort of stuff, but it's the little details in here which I really like. So things like this Dometic hob, they've now started to use these iron pan stands, and anyone who's got a Cali at the moment, or they've got one of the kind of regular Dometic hobs, they'll know that if you're on a slight slope with a pitch, you'll end up putting a pan on and it slides off. And these are nice and rough, so your pan is going to just sit there. So they make these with an SCA roof, pop-up roof, so you can see. It's a really high quality roof. It's got nice plastic springs up there for the bed as well, so super comfy. You can unzip the front to get more air in. It's a beautiful thing. Not electric on this particular model, so it is a normal push-up roof, but it does have gas struts holding the bed frame up when you want that extra headroom in here too. Now if Sarah spins round, I'll show you this funky fridge in here as well. Now it's a Vitrafigo fridge and it's hidden behind here, but it's a slider. Now let me know in the comments below what you think to slide out fridges like this, because they're starting to become much more popular. Larger vans sometimes have these, but obviously with this you've got the ability, potentially, depending on what else you put in here, to put bottles in, those kind of things. There's another little shelf in there too. Does have an ice box in this one for your ice creams. So let us know, is that the kind of style of fridge which is going to work for you, or would you prefer a top loader, so one that's just basically a big cool box that you open the lid on, or do you like the old style ones with the normal, the regular style ones with the door and all the shelves and stuff inside? Let us know in the comments below. So this has got a standard rock and roll bed in. It does also have a drawer built in, so you've got some storage there underneath your bed. And rock and roll bed basically means you pull on this handle, you slide it forward, this piece flips forward, so the bottom flips forward, the back then flips down, and then the back piece then goes back, and that basically creates your flat bed inside. So if I just push this back, you can see that the bottom of this is nice and cushioned, because that is what you're going to sleep on. So you probably noticed there is a door on this side as well, and I always think that's quite interesting on small campers, because especially when they've got a side kitchen, you think, well, why do you need another side door? Well, if you've got stuff inside, so you've got somebody who's cooking inside, you want to serve it outside, always a good potential to be able to open a door to do that. But this also has space in a cupboard for a toilet, so that is a porta potty, and actually the ability to be able to take that in and out from each side is really nice. So if you need to empty this, you don't have to drag it through all of your living area and everything else. You can open your side door, take it straight out. I think that's pretty nifty. So this has got Eberspacher diesel heating, which is blown air, which is this funky little vent down at the bottom here. Don't kick that off if you have one of these. It is plastic. I'm sure they're not too expensive to replace. But the interesting thing to me is what this interior is like. So we've got the new Ford Transit interior. Been out for a few months now, so you might have probably seen one of these before, but obviously you've got nice cup holders there. Huge touchscreen. This one's been powered off because it's in the showroom. Handbrake is electric here, so no problem with spinning the chairs around and things like you might have had once upon a time. Lots of really good storage with kind of top loading boxes. You've got a glove box down the bottom, and then obviously all of your cruise control and everything. None of those crazy touch buttons on the steering wheel or everything. These are actual buttons. Look, I can actually press those in. Hallelujah. Digital dashboard and things, as you would imagine, and it's actually got those really cool wing mirrors, which means that you've got some decent mirrors at the bottom because it's a split one, a bit like the bigger vans have. Transit's had these before, but it means that you can see where your rear wheels are and they're blind spot mirrors. So all in all, I think this is a lovely little van actually, and based on the new Transit, so definitely worth checking out. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Quick look around these Malibu, well not so quick, look around these Malibus and that fantastic new Monza. So let us know in the comments below if you're getting a new van, thinking about a new van, planning your travels for later this year. Let us know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again soon for some more Campervan Time.